Former crime intelligence CFO Lazarus has been sentenced to 10 years in prison in the Pretoria Magistrates court, but he was then granted leave to appeal and posted bail of 10,000 rand. Now, last year he was found guilty of corruption for using the unit's account to buy vehicles for himself and family members. His co-accused, Hein Bernard, was acquitted. Barry Bateman has more.
I first reported on the case involving Lazarus and Hein Bernard, this particular one in 2013. You can just get an idea, this has been dragging on for so long, like many cases involving crime intelligence. But the crimes themselves took place between 2008 and 2011, I think it is. There were 4 particular transactions which were the subject of this prosecution. And Lazarus was accused of exploiting his position within the SAPS. There was an arrangement with a car dealership in Centurion, Atlantis Motors. Crime intelligence, using its secret service account, would buy vehicles, covert vehicles for use within the unit through Atlantis Nissan. However, in this case it was abused, and there were funds that were transferred to the particular dealership, which were then used to put down a significant deposit on a new car for himself. One was also to buy a vehicle for his daughter. There was a motorcycle as well as a quad bike that were bought. So it was based on those that eventually last year, towards the end of last year, that Lazarus was found guilty on corruption. He was acquitted on the charges of fraud and theft, but the charge of corruption had stuck. In terms of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act, a law enforcement officer who was found guilty of corruption over 10,000 rand, in this case it was about 240,000 rand, should receive the minimum sentence of 15 years in jail, unless the court can find compelling and substantial reasons to deviate from that. The magistrate going into the details about Lazarus's personal condition. He's ill. He suffers from certain ailments, chronic ailments, which make him susceptible not just to that, but we also took into account COVID-19 and whether being in jail he would be at significant risk of contracting that. But what it came down to, Jeremy, well, sorry, the court actually found that there were compelling reasons to deviate from the minimum, but when it came to actually handing down sentence, the overriding factor that the magistrate considered was the seriousness of the offence. We're dealing with a senior police officer, someone who was a major general, who was entrusted with millions of rands for crime intelligence, who abused that position. And it's on that basis that the court found that incarceration of anything less than 10 years could not do. So you imposed that with no suspended aspect of the particular sentence, saying that this was appropriate in the circumstances.